Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by, oh my goodness, look who's back. It's Sam Mayer, the driver of the #1 Chevrolet for JR Motorsports. What's up, bud?
Oh, not a whole lot right now. Just hanging out, getting ready for the season to get kicking.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. It's been an interesting offseason for you. There's you got a new crew chief, and it's a very familiar face to you. What's it like to have Marty back?
Yeah, Marty, I mean, like he's obviously had so much success over the last like 5, 6 years that he's been in the crew chief role, even before me. So it's amazing to have the opportunity to work with him over at GMS for those couple of years and having a little break from him, letting him have his own success and me have my own, and finally getting back together again. It certainly is tons of fun already, and we're not even like into the season yet. So I know the season's going to bring a lot of really good stuff both our ways, and I know that it's going to be a blast while doing it.
Yeah. I always knew that you two would get back together in some way. Uh, so let's talk about this as well. I mean, first full season in Xfinity, you definitely had some good moments. There was like a streak of races around like April, May where you guys were on it. And then it's just like going into there. I think you had some rough patches as well, and you had some solid runs. I mean, you could have won Talladega too. But overall, how do you think last season went for you?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I'm super happy and super proud of everyone on the team doing their jobs, doing everything right. We were in such good position so many times, and stupid, silly little things would happen, like the tire falling off at Dover or something silly like that. So we always had something going on, and we were always fighting adversity. But I was so what's the word? I was so just proud of how we ended the season. I think kind of going into Martinsville with a chance to go for a championship the next week, and we were so close all day. We were just a little bit off, but I mean, even before that, the whole playoff system, we grinded so hard to get to that point because we did have a rough little summer stretch, and it was like a summer slump, I guess you could say, and we fought back so hard after that, and we came back and we put ourselves in really good spots. I mean, even Talladega was one of our best races of that little stint, and we put ourselves in really good spots every week. And some things went our way, some things didn't. Like we talked about, like April, May was probably our best stint of the year when we had like 8 out of 10 top fives in a row, which unreal statistic is. It's super cool to have that um, kind of checked off to where I know I can do that and it can happen. It's just a matter of going out there every week, doing your absolute best, and kind of just being proud of what you have. And that's something I look back on 2022 with is I'm super proud of what the team was capable of and what we were able to accomplish. And every week, no matter if it was good, bad, or indifferent, the competition knew we were there and we were always competitive. And that's why I'm super thankful to Taylor, obviously crew chief in that whole gig, and Andrew being the lead engineer. Everyone on the team, I'm super proud of them. Obviously, we got split up this year with everything kind of moving around in the shop, but it's certainly I'm certainly looking forward to next year with a lot of new people, new faces, and like Marty, some familiar faces.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, you two together is going to be an interesting pairing because the thing is that now you look at the schedule and like there's a few tracks that's like, okay, we need to get this thing back, we need to get this track back, we need to get this track back. So is it like obviously there's two in particular I think you're going to have circled. Dover and Bristol are probably those two, right?
You want to know a third one that Marty's gonna have circled too is Coda. Coda. We were really fast there at Coda. We won a stage. I think it was my first or second stage win, and we lost second gear. So it was one of those races where we knew we could go out there and perform, but with little things, silly things holding us back from being our absolute best. I'm really looking forward to trying to get that one back because I think we have the speed to do it. Obviously, I have the experience. I have 2 races under my belt there, and that's one circled off for me because it's a road course. I'm a road racer. That's where I come from. I'm looking forward to trying to get that one back. But Marty has that one circled too because he should have won that truck race last year.
Yep.
Kyle was leading coming to the white, and he got put 3 wide top and moved out of the way. So I think Marty has that one circled amongst a bunch of other ones, especially with me going to the short tracks and go to the road courses because we know how we function on those together because we've done those. It's just a matter of putting the intermediates together on top of that and kind of making it happen. But I'm so excited for Bristol and Dover too, because I mean, obviously having that wheel fall off at Dover put us in a bad spot, ruined the whole left side of the car, and we were still able to finish top five. So having those notes from last year and taking a bunch of notes that Marty and the nine engineer had from last year, like we're gonna go in there and I think we're gonna just absolutely demolish the field based on all the notes we have.
So, when you look at, different things, there's a lot of road courses on the schedule this year. Also, a lot of tracks that you ran well at, and maybe you didn't have the best run, and now that you're going to all these tracks again, for the second time, obviously Sonoma will be new to you, but overall, how exciting is it to, and obviously Chicago as well, but overall, just how excited are you for this schedule? Because it's got a lot of road courses on there, and of course, now maybe all that time in Trans Am will pay off.
It's absolutely going to pay off because I already have a race at Sonoma under my belt in the Trans Am series. So I have that little bit of competitive advantage amongst above a little bit of other drivers, but Chicago is a clean slate for everybody.
Oh yeah,
And I've done a little bit of go kart racing, like street type racing in the go kart, so I have a little bit of knowledge about that. But I've never actually done a street race in a regular car, so that's going to be a new experience for so many people. And the track's obviously brand new, so it's gonna be a wild one. And I think there's only 4 tracks on the schedule this year that Junior Motorsports has never won. I think one is Sonoma, one is Chicago, obviously, Coda, and Portland. Those are the only 4, and they're all road courses. So if we can have a road ringer type year, I think we can check all the boxes off and get Junior a history making year.
you have to call your buddy Colin Braun to help you out with a lot of that stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, of course. He'll be at Rolex this weekend in the, and of course that car's on the pole for the Rolex 24 with Meyer Shanks, so that'll be fun. Hey, let me ask you this too. Just just kind of coming into the year, obviously, having year one under this, year two for you, you just seem really confident because it's going to be, now that you know a lot of this track, now that you've been through a full season, what's it going to be like?
Man, having the knowledge of like going through the first quarter of the year, kind of taking that knowledge from last year and going into this year, I think what I was lacking last year in that first like 7 races of the year was that experience because the dynamic of the year really revolves around how you start off the year and fire off. Like the first 5 races can almost define your entire year. And I mean, Noah had that last year where he finished top five, I think, for the first 5 races straight. I mean, that kid had a bomb year, and that's how it all started. So, I mean, taking that first quarter of the year and having that experience finally, because I obviously didn't have that in 2021, and I think that's why I struggled a little bit. Now having that experience and being able to use that knowledge going into the next year, I think it's going to be obviously it's going to be a better year because I'm more experienced overall. But taking that knowledge and applying it to next year, I think is going to help me a lot. So we just got to go out there and do it. Like that's the bottom line. Just go out there, do it, win, be happy, and just take what you get and make the most of it.
Yes, sir. So how was your off season?
Oh, it was a blast. I really like the Xfinity schedule is obviously really long and grueling, but the ARCA schedule that I've had in the past, I only ran 25 races or so.
Yeah.
This year was 33. So those extra 8 or so races, they add up, that's for sure. And so I wasn't burned out by any means because I love racing to death. I could never be burned out, but I was definitely ready for a break. And I think when Christmas or maybe even New Year came around, that itch started coming back to where I was longing to get in the race car, and I've been waiting ever since to get that opportunity. And obviously, we have the Charlotte test this weekend or this week,
Yeah, Monday.
um, so I'm gonna finally get in that race car and feel that again. So that's gonna hold me over till Daytona, but I'm so pumped for Daytona. It's gonna be so much fun, but I've had such a fun off season, just enjoying myself, relaxing, taking all the sights and sounds of Mooresville and everywhere else where I went during the off season just to relax. But
You went to New York City,
Definitely
didn't you?
ready to get my race car again.
Did you go to? You went to New York City, didn't you?
I did. Me and my girlfriend Amelia, we went to New York City for a couple days and hung out there. And obviously, it was such a blast because it was my first time really going. So
Sure.
I it was new sights and sounds and smells and everything for me. So I definitely enjoyed it so much. And I mean, obviously the having the off season with her and the family down here, down in North Carolina, was tons of fun. And but I mean, I'm always ready for racing.
No, that's good. By the way, did you ever? I know that of course, your girlfriend's from Minnesota. Of course, that means that it's in Minnesota. But let me just straighten something out here. I always wanted to say this. When did you have you guys gone to the Mall of America?
Okay, so I have, but this was probably it had to be 10 years ago or so now. So I haven't gone when I was really conscious and able to kind of understand what the Mall of America was.
Yeah,
I know that you interviewed William and
yeah.
asked that question because I watched it, and he answered it, and he was like, "Yeah, I've been to Mall of America 100 times." Blah blah blah. Well, I've only gone once, so I'm definitely gonna have to make her take me up to Minnesota and go to the Mall of America and get to really experience it.
Okay, so for everyone in Minnesota, and this is for the for my certain Minnesota friends, and you know who you are. The Mall of America to all of Minnesota is just the mall. To everyone else, it's this big tourist attraction. So there we go. By the way, also this you tweeted a few months ago the Baja Blast at Taco Bell. Are you a fan of that?
It's one of those classic drinks that you can't hate it just because of its reputation, of course.
Yeah. I mean, if as long as you've known me, you know I don't like Taco Bell.
When you think here, let me ask you a question. I'm going to interview you now. So,
Well,
what
yeah,
color do you think of when you taste it?
the green is it's usually the green stuff, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
usually
yeah. The Baja Blast tastes like the color green.
yeah.
That's absolutely what it tastes like.
That's fun. I still don't like Taco Bell. So and finally, just overall, just going into this, what's it going to be like? What are your goals for 22? Obviously, you want to win, and obviously, you want to win a championship. But what would be what are your goals for this season?
Let me put it this way. For me, myself, coming off of last year and having uh, a genuinely successful year, like we did everything that we really kind of put ourselves out there for, except for winning, really. My bottom goal, like the bottom line, is what I want from this year is I want at least to win a race a couple times. I feel like if I don't do that, it we didn't do our job, and we obviously won't be in a good spot to compete for a championship if we don't do that. So I want to win a couple races. I obviously want to make the playoffs, win the championship, blah blah blah. But I think if I get 20 top fives, show that I'm there every week, and kind of just be there every week. I mean, if you get 20 top fives, that's 66% of the season. So you just got to go out there, do it, and put yourself in a good spot. And I think the good stuff that I really, really want will come from there.
All right. Well, Sam Mayer, thanks so much for coming on and talking with us. Always a pleasure to talk to you, buddy. We'll have fun at the test Monday. Good luck this season. Let's have you on again sometime.
Thanks so much, buddy. I appreciate it.